Yes. So I better put my headphones on so I can hear. That would be nice. All right. So welcome again. This is kind of a. I felt that I had to answer some of these questions that have been presented to me. Hold on a second. Been presented to me since Sunday. A lot of people have sent me texts and sent me private messages um, on Facebook, and I felt that we need to, um, I need to address some of these things. Um, and let me say before I begin, it's really important that all of you, please, 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 take part, join the conversation, share the conversation with other folks. Um, you know, I have to address it this way because this is how what's going on. But you know, white folks that are joining in, I would like you to be here and join in with me, and I would also like you to join in with other folks. Hey, Lisa, I want you to join in with other folks, other white folks, and entertain the conversation, because this racism thing is killing folks, and it's just it's nasty and it's evil, and there's no way, there's no reason for this to persist, to keep on being this way. And we can change, but we can't change it by just us doing things alone. It has to be, I see more folks, hi, 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 hi. It has to be more folks joining the conversation, and, and more white people joining the conversation amongst each other. Because when you do that, a lot of times it's easier um, for, for people um, to communicate with each other based on similarities, I guess. Maybe you work together. Maybe you in the same neighborhood. Maybe you went to school together. Whatever the case may be, it's a very helpful tool to have you guys in this mix, just like the marches and protests that are going on. So, but anyways, all that aside, again, I thank you. I want to also say that I appreciate that almost 600 people have either tuned in or have watched um, the these cast streamings after the fact. So I want to thank everybody who has participated in some way, shape, or form. Hey, 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 hey! I see you all. Um, Somebody also, this is a silly thing, but somebody asked me why I'm wearing shade glasses, and I'm not. These actually are literally glasses so that I can see. They're prescription glasses, and because of my headaches that are caused by my Lyme disease that I have every day, these lenses that are darker help to kind of stop the headaches from intensifying more just because of regular light. If I go out to turn on lights in the house, or go outside to get some fresh air and whatever else. So now that's out the way. So since Sunday, um, as I said, I've gotten lots of, hey Michelle, I've gotten lots of messages, and one that keeps on happening over and over and over again is people saying, why are we talking about the race thing so much these days? Or there's the question of, well, why just after a couple of people, um, a couple of incidents, or a couple of people, um, is everything about race now? Why are you playing the race card? Why the race? Why do we have to talk about that? Um, I don't see colors. I see everybody as humans. Well, the reason that this has to continue by me and other folks who feel called to do this is that there is color in this United States of America that we live in. Color is it was this country unfortunately was built on the precipice of the differences of color, um, and white folks took out the Indians or Native Americans, and took over the country or the continent, or however it works. I'm not good at that lingo, so I'm not going to delve too far into it. But that happened, and then there was slavery, and so we weren't even at no point in time has there been an even playing field, to call it that. I hate to say playing because we ain't playing, but and so it's a constant a constant foundation of this country that was built on race, and and as things grew and blew up, yes, we were through fighting and struggling and protest and beatings and killings and lynchings and so on, we were able to eventually get more rights, but it's not. We ain't there yet. Just so you know. Now, one what I want to do right now is I want to address the question of, uh, let's see, why are we talking about this so much now? And I am going to tell you this first. I went and I researched and scrapped what I was going to do, and I went and did some research and to get some statistics for everybody so they can understand um, why this is happening and why we're talking about this now. So, one, I went to some quote unquote conservative, some quote unquote liberal, and some quote unquote in the middle kind of websites. So one uh, one conservative website says non-white Americans make up less than 38% of the U.S. population. Yet almost half of all people killed by police are minorities, and minorities make up more unarmed people killed by police. Now, there are figures to go with this. For example, for the first part, that the population is 62.1% of the population is white, and then 37.4 is black, brown skin, and so on. Let's see, of all the people killed by, uh, excuse me, half of the people killed by police were minorities. We were 47.2% of those people. Minorities making up the unarmed. That's 53.6% of the black people killed by police were unarmed. That's from a conservative website. Let's see. Uh, since 2000, since the year 2000, 5,600 folks were killed. We are 40 something percent of that, 47% of that. Let's see what else. Let me go further. Since 2015 till yesterday, when I got this, and I checked it again today, 381 black men or women, or men and women, have been murdered by police. This is a fact. This is also from a conservative website. So this is not something that we're all of a sudden talking about and it's all over the news and publicized because um, we're trying to play a race card. This is actually what's really happening. 381 black people killed by the police in this country. In since 2000, in L.A. County, in Los Angeles, California, L.A. County, 885 were either black or Latino just in that county since 2000. So please, if you, I mean, you can look this stuff up yourself. It's easy to do. You can just put a random search that says how many people were killed, how many black people were killed, and 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 read it for yourself and invite yourself into the conversation that way. And maybe it'll change your views if you're one of those people who happens to subscribe to that unfortunate um, stance. Here I got another thing from it's Statista 2020, and they have a police brutality in the U.S. Number of people shot to death by the police in the United States from 2017 to 2020. 88 are black, 57 Hispanic, 14 are other. I don't know what that means. And then there's an unknown 98. What also is being expressed in all of these cases is that they that a lot of times these things aren't even counted. They're not even the way that they've been put into the system. Uh, it didn't make it accessible to everybody to be able to understand what was going on. So maybe people from certain parts of the country and certain parts of wherever didn't know, but in the inner cities and a lot of times doesn't matter where you're from, because just being black and a traffic stop or whatever wherever the case may be, these things can happen. Now be uh, let me also take the other side of this and let you know that yes, there are so many cases where black folks are in where some of these things happen in the midst of or after a crime, but relative to the crimes being related to using or should be using that kind of uh, um, uh, resulting to shooting them, that's where the problem lies. These things are talking about people that are black people that are killed by police in situations where shooting them, where murdering them is unwarranted. And I should have told you that before I started this, because that's the whole point of this. And I want everybody on Facebook and YouTube who's going to see this, because I'm going to put it there, and Instagram, and I want everybody to understand that that this is not just something new. This didn't just happen after a couple of things occurred. Um, Now, I want to say this. Uh, I'm going to now, because I wasn't planning to do this today. If you have questions, please chime them in. Let me know. Um, oh, I see what you're saying. Ah, oh, Department of FBI. I will look that up, Lisa. Thank you so much. Um, and um, and so, and of course, when you get to stats, these statisticians, yikes, I can't say the word. Everybody, every place you go, every site is going to have a different way that they uh, that they describe the numbers, the way that they put it out. I mean, they everybody has an angle in media, and that's the nature of media. So that's why I wanted to go to as many sources as I could. What I would like to do now, because like I said, wasn't planning on doing this today, so I'm not going to take up much of your time. I do want you to share the conversation. I want you to tune in on Sunday, because Sunday is when it really goes down, and we're going to get on some stuff, and I might even have a guest showing up as well. Like I told you, before I do this next thing that I'm going to read to you, I also would like you to please make sure that you join the conversation. If you have questions, if you have comments, doesn't matter if they're good, bad, doesn't matter what it is. Everything feeds into this, lets me know what I need to try to express, if I can express it. Hi, Sandra. And so if I have the ability to be able to express these things, um, to you that you want to know, and that you want to talk about too, that's awesome. I would love to have opposing people and we can talk in PM, or y'all can call me. Like I said, my phone number is attached to my Facebook, and you can call me. We can talk about it, and we can have you on and let you be a part of the show, actually, voicing out loud your opinions and your stats and everything that you got. That's what this is about. It's about everybody understanding why people see things the way they do. Um, what what happened in your life to make you this way? What happened in my life to make me that way? So on and so forth. That's what it's about. Not knowing these things is what ends up perpetuating a lot more violence, a lot more bad things, a lot more nasty, hateful things. Now, what I would like to do, and this is probably something that everybody should know. I will try to post this. I'm still learning a lot of this stuff, like I told you Sunday. So but I will try to post this on on my Facebook page so that everybody can look at it. So this is called. Excuse me. This is, it says, this is about to be what I'm going to say, and I'm sorry for getting tongue twisted there. The rate at which black Americans are killed by police is more than twice as high as the rate for white Americans. This is a non-comprehensive list of deaths at the hands of police in the United States since Eric Garner's death in July 2014. This is just a list that is available to everybody and anybody. Like I said, there's a lot of times where things aren't so available. So I'm going to read this list. Hopefully you'll stay tuned to this, you'll listen to this list, and understand this is why we are talking about this. Again, this is a list of black men and women killed by police when that was not warranted. The offenses or whatever the situation did not warrant to be shot, to be killed. And this is since 2014. Okay, here I go. So we've got, I got to make it bigger so I can see it. Sorry. Hold on a second. This is, yeah, okay, there we go. So we have Eric Garner, John Crawford III, Michael Brown, Ezell Ford, Dante Parker, Michelle Cusseau, Laquan McDonald, George Mann, Tanisha Anderson, Akai Gurley, Tamir Rice, Rumain Brisbane, Jermaine Reed, Matthew Ajibade, I'm sorry for the mispronunciation probably, Frank Smart, Natasha McKenna, Tony Robinson, Anthony Hill, Maya Hall, Philip White, Eric Harris, Walter Scott, William Chapman II, Freddie Blue, Alexia Christian, Brendan Glenn, Victor Manuel LaRosa, Jonathan Sanders, Joseph Mann, I already said that, Salvador Ellswood, let's see, Sandra Bland, Albert Joseph Davis, Darius Stewart, Billy Ray Davis, Samuel DuBose, Michael Saby, Brian Keith Day, Christian Taylor, Troy Robinson, let's see, Ashams Farrell Manley, Felix Kumai, Keith Harrison McLeod, Junior Prosper, Lamontez Jones, Patterson Brown, Dominic Hutchinson, Anthony Ashford, Alonzo Smith, Tyree Crawford, India Kager, Levante Biggs, Michael Lee Marshall, Jamar Clark, Richard Perkins, Nathaniel Harris Pickett, Benny Lee Tignor, Miguel Espanol, Michael Noel, Kevin Matthews, Betty Jones, Quintonio Legrier, Keith Childress Jr., Janet Wilson, Randy Nelson, Antroni Scott, Wendell Celestin, David Joseph, Kaylin Roquemore, Daishawn Perkins, Christopher Davis, Marco Loud, Peter Gaines, Tori Robinson, Darius Robinson, Kevin Hicks, Mary Trujillo, DeMarcus Samir, Willie Tillman, Terrell Thomas, Slyville Smith, Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, Terrence Crutcher, Paul O'Neill, Alteria Woods, Jordan Edwards, Aaron Bailey, Ronell Foster, Stephon Clark, Antoine Rose II, Botham Jean, Pamela Turner, Dominique Clayton, Atanya Jefferson, Christopher Whitfield, Christopher McCorvey, Eric Reason, Michael Lorenz Dean, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd. This is just a list that was made that everybody knows about. These are ones that if you paid attention to the news, or these are just those. That's a comprehensive list of just the folks that were made available. There are hundreds and hundreds more. The information that I gave you today is only information since 2000. That's in the 2000s. That's where we are now, in the 2000s. If we went back further than that, I don't know. We'd probably cry for days and days and days. So please thank you for sticking with me, staying with me, whoever has done that. I appreciate that. I appreciate your time. And again, Sunday, I will be back with you, and we will talk again. Until then, please, please talk to each other. My phone is always available. You can always message me. We there's so many ways that we can talk these days. We can text. We can whatever you want to do. We can create a song about it. Whatever needs to happen. But I am determined to um, to do a part in this conversation of helping people heal and helping people understand each other and understand each other's heaviness and pain and each other's situations. It's important because that's how we can know this stuff. We have to be willing to open our ears and open our hearts so that we can take in this information. Like I said, before I did this, the reason that I did this today is because so many people are like didn't know that any of this existed. They didn't know. They thought it was just about 2 people that got killed last month, this month. I mean, that's insane that there is a portion of our United States that didn't know about any of the murders, just the ones that I just read off to you. It's it's sad. It is so sad. And there are certain portions of media that won't tell you that this is really happening. And so I remember when I was a kid in school. I think I said this on the last one or the one before, but um, I remember people like literally teasing and bullying and all that stuff. I was never a very big dude, but uh, but all that, and it was racial, and they would say these things, and it hurt you, but you just knew what you had to do to get by. But murder, when black people are being murdered in situations where nobody deserves to be murdered, that should be something that the whole world is alarmed about. And it's something that you should know about. If you don't know about it, I don't understand why. It's so sad to me that that's the way that it is, because it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be where there's anybody in this world that doesn't know uh, what's going on with your fellow man, with your fellow brother, with your fellow Americans. Hi, Tara. Um, so, yeah, Lisa, my mind is way open, and I'm telling you, that's why I want everybody to take this information and then give me some. That's what this is about. Anybody who has some information or has something that they think is contrary to what I'm saying, please let me know. I'm not. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm not scared of talking, debating, listening, hearing. If you can tell me something, and that's why I try to seek out so many places to get this information, is because I'm keeping an open mind, and I'm telling you facts and figures and things from potentially everybody's side, and so if you have more information, please. That's what this is about. I'm not doing that. I'm not a webcaster, influencer, whatever. It just the other 2 weeks ago, it hit me watching some of this stuff on TV, and I don't watch TV a lot, but I was watching some of this stuff, and I was crying and crying to see this stuff still happening, because I know about the deaths. I know about the murders that were unjustified. I know about them. I know about a lot of them. I know some people that were on that end of it, and so and again, I'm not saying that all police are bad, because no, they're not. All are not. But where there are some, there are problems, and those problems have to be fixed. And it's only going to happen if everybody stands up, pays attention, and then puts their self in the middle of it, not standing on the side, but Put yourself in the middle of it. Understand. You know, a black person understands white people. White people understands black people. Asian people. So I mean, everybody understanding everybody. If you don't, you can't. You, you know, you can't judge people if you don't know them. If you don't know the plight of black people, you can't judge black people. Every black person, uh, everybody. It's just like the whole. Nobody's the same. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different walk. But when black people are um, uh, lumped into a little pile and then treated in such drastic different ways, it makes no sense. I'm going to give you one example that a lot of you that are looking at this right now. When the murderer, young kid murderer, went into the church in Charleston and murdered those people, he didn't get shot. He didn't get, beat up and mangled and busted in the head with flashlights and batons and tasered and any of that. That's food for action. Think about that. Listen, thank you guys for joining in. Again, communicate with me on my phone, on Facebook, Messenger, whatever. I'm glad to hear from you. And anybody who wants to take part in this, let's talk and we can, figure it out. And then I can put you on the screen too. Until then, I love you guys. I love you all. Love each other. And until then, next Sunday, I'll see you. Same black time, same black channel.